of the local and international press. First of all, I would like to welcome my guest in the studio, Mr. Yehia Negm, former diplomat and political analyst. Mr. Yehia, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we will begin with the first headline from the Washington Post, and we read, Egypt's ex-militant groups seek truce between military and brotherhood. Two of Egypt's former militant groups are offering an initiative to halt the country's political violence, in which supporters of the ousted Islamist president will stop street protests if the military-backed government stops its crackdown on them, the group's leaders said on Monday. The initiative, led by Egypt's Jama'a Islamiyya and Islamic Jihad movements, which waged an insurgency in the 1990s, aims to bring dialogue between the military and the Muslim Brotherhood, from which toppled President Mohammed Morsi hails. Mr. Yehia, first of all, how do you see
the government against the army and so on? And even some reports talked about their intervention or their role in the massacre of Kerdasa,
yes,
where they attacked some armed people, attacked a police station, and they killed all officers and soldiers there. And they talked about the involvement of these two groups in this massacre. So I think this movement or this move is a try to save their faces, try to keep involved in the Egyptian politics, try to deny these reports about their involvement in this massacre. I don't think that the general opinion would welcome this such initiative from these specific two movements.
Yes, especially that they are saying the dialogue will be in return of stopping the protests. And we have all witnessed last Friday that the number of protesters is even becoming less and less by time. But do you think that the dialogue is possible at this stage? I mean, after all these attacks on the government offices, on the police stations, is dialogue possible?
First of all, to talk, let's say we have to start with abiding with the law. They have to abide with the law. Nobody is above the law. There is no negotiations about abiding by the law. So this Muslim Brotherhood should accept their historic defeat politically, and they should instruct their followers to do so and to stop protest, and if they want to involve once again in the political process, but insisting on bringing the ex-regime back or the dead back to life is an insane thing, and
yes,
and it's not a reality. It's not realistic attitude in the politics. So they must be realistic with their demands. It's not an issue now to bring the ex-regime. It's not an issue to stop the violence. They should obey the law and to obey, of course, the curfew and to follow the political process to,
yes,
to participate.
Mm-hmm. And from the New York Times, we read, the official denies inquiry into Egyptian activists. A spokesman for Egypt's foreign ministry on Monday denied reports in the state news media over the weekend about an investigation into two prominent activists, Asma Mahfouz and Isra Abdel Fattah, who are sometimes associated with the left-leaning April 6th group. Both activists are known in Western capitals for their work around the revolt that ousted President Hosni Mubarak, so reports of the investigation complicated the new government's efforts to win international recognition. So these news about the investigation with the some of the activists in general, maybe not only these two, because we've heard also some other names. How do you see these reports? And if this is true, I mean, if there is Western links or anything of the sort, wouldn't these investigations be accurate? Because we need now to have a roadmap, a possible roadmap to be executed, and we don't want any Western interference in our affairs.
Once again, as we said, nobody is above the law.
Yes.
Everybody should obey the law and abide by the law. And the authorities should investigate any possible threat to the national security or to an external intervention. But also we hope that the authorities and law enforcement authorities will respect the basic liberties like speech freedom and gathering freedom and politics activities should be respected and should not prosecute political activists for their work or for their activities.
Yes.
But of course, any external intervention or any threat to the security of the state should be investigated, and everybody should abide also, and once again, by the law.
And from the World Bulletin we read, Erdogan blames Al-Azhar Grand Imam. Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan blamed Al-Azhar Grand Imam Ahmed al-Tayyib over his support to military coup against elected President Mohamed Morsi. Erdogan said on Sunday that there could not be a democratic coup and that a coup is a coup, criticizing those who failed to call the military coup in Egypt as a coup. Speaking at the assembly meeting of Erdogan's University Development Foundation, Turkish Premier touched upon the recent developments in Egypt following July 3rd and the following civilian massacre by Egyptian security forces. So these comments by the Turkish Prime Minister have made many people say that why is Turkey interfering in the Egyptian internal affairs? And at the same time, these insults are not only for Muslims in Egypt, these or for Al-Azhar University or Dr. Ahmed al-Tayyib, they are insults for the whole Muslims in the whole world. How do you see these comments by Erdogan, and what are the measures that Egypt should take in order to draw a red line that its internal affairs are really not to be played with?
Well, it's his opinion, I believe, even though it's not accepted, it's not welcomed here in Egypt. We don't like external intervention in our issues. It seems to me that the Turkish Prime Minister is obsessed with the word coup. He's repeating the word one time after another. It seems for me that he didn't see the millions of Egyptians who went to the streets and who marched in the streets asking to change this regime and denouncing.
I mean, why are they denying? It's not only Turkey, it's the United States, Britain, the European countries. They have seen all these numbers in the streets.
We have to differ, yes, we have to differ between the positions of many countries. I think Turkey is a very extreme in this sense. It seems that
they are afraid.
Yes, well, maybe they are afraid to repeat it, but I think they have a plan, or they have a project, Turkish project for the region. Yes. I was talking to some people and said that it seems that Turkey has a project, a new Ottoman project for the region. Now we are seeing that Israel is retracting from the scene and leaving the scene to Turkey to attack the Arab countries and to intervene in their international affairs. Before, Israel was the one who was doing the police work for the United States and the West in the Middle East. But now we are seeing that it's not Israel, it's Turkey now that's taking this position in Syria and now in Egypt even. So I think this is a project, a plan. The Prime Minister is pretending of not seeing the great revolution of 30th of June. He's trying to intervene in everything. I think what is left for him is to come here and to rule the Egyptians and to decide to the Egyptians what they want and what they do. So it's, of course, unrealistic, even
and unacceptable.
Unacceptable, flagrant intervention in our internal affairs. I think they will pay a big price because the mood in Egypt and in the Middle East is not to accept this, is refusing such external intervention. It was maybe done in Syria, but now in Egypt we have understood the situation here of Turkey,
Yes.
their role they are trying to play in the Middle East. They are trying to divide the Arab countries, to rule and to intervene. They want to maybe be the horse of Torada, to intervene, to destroy even the big armies in the Middle East. I think the Iraqi army was destroyed. The Syrian army is in process to be destroyed. We have listened about the news that the United States is preparing to attack
yes, Syria. And
Syrian
actually,
army. And
Turkey supports this and said that
course,
it
yes.
could cooperate with the United States even if the UN Security Council did
now
not
they are targeting
agree.
the Egyptian army, and they are targeting Egypt specifically.
And from the Daily News, we read the Sinai Security Headquarters attacked. Armed assailants launched a number of attacks on Sunday night against state security headquarters and checkpoints in the cities of Al Arish and Rafah in North Sinai. A security source in North Sinai said assailants fired rocket-propelled grenades at a security checkpoint in Al Karama neighborhood in South Al Arish. The rocket missed its target, however, and no casualties were reported. Assailants also fired automatic weapons at security forces located along the city's ring road in southern El Arish. Again, the security situation in Sinai, despite all the great efforts done by the Egyptian army in cooperation with the Egyptian police, still we are facing everyday attacks or attacks on a daily basis. So until when are we going to witness this?
So, sorry, I want to continue something about Turkey.
Yes.
That these positions of the Turkish government have drawn a very severe reactions from the Egyptian society. We have seen many groups in Egypt,
yes.
civil groups and
boycotting
NGOs,
the Turkish products.
Denounced the Turkish
yes.
reactions, and they refused this position from the Turkish Prime Minister. So it's not healthy for Turkey, it's not
yes.
healthy for the relations, historic relations between the two countries. Well, about Sinai now, it's unfortunately, I don't know until when we have to see this situation in Sinai. I think we are still in the